and then his move from West Brom to QPR, which eventually did not materialize on deadline day. He actually drove to QPR,
hoping to get the transfer.
Exactly. And I think it's similar to that of Mateta. Now, how does he reconcile his differences with the Crystal Palace fans? Because he's a player that they actually loved because of his role played in the FA Cup success, and then the role played in the last 2 seasons, how he's been a very important player to all the successes that Crystal Palace have chalked. And then all of a sudden, he indicated his willingness to move away from the side. There was a fallout between himself and the Palace fans. How does he repair that fractured relationship? It is very, very crucial, especially judging by Palace also doing business with Wolves to bring on board Strand Larsen, who is a striker. So it is going to be an interesting 6-month period from now to the end of the season, how the Palace fans will welcome Jean-Philippe Mateta and how the player himself will settle and forget about this setback that he suffered as he bid to move away from the club to join AC Milan. Again, I think the Italian clubs did some good business. You don't have to look at Juventus. They went into the market, did business, and then Inter Milan as well. But they were not business that will automatically transform their forward line. For Juve, they were looking at a striker, and they had 2, Randall Colomwani of Spurs, and then to an extent, they looked at Mauro Icardi of Galatasaray. Now, the Icardi bit, I think it was gathering steam, and then it cooled off. It cooled off because of an issue between Icardi and then Luciano Spalletti, which dates far back during their time at Inter Milan, when Wanda Nara was representing Icardi and also was serving as his wife. There was an issue that led to Spalletti stripping Icardi of the Inter Milan captaincy. Icardi imposed on himself a certain restriction that he was not going to play for the side. Eventually, he came out to apologize, and Spalletti was also playing hardball. He said the player had to apologize to his teammate, and then the decision to keep him away from the first team will be rescinded. It became an issue, and I think that actually signaled the beginning of the end for Mauro Icardi, and then also paved the way for Lautaro Martinez to get a central role in the Inter Milan team. But I think Spalletti has not forgotten it. So when the Icardi rumors that was Juventus gathered steam, he actually spoke in the aftermath of Parma versus Juventus when Juve won heavily, and he said that never ever that Icardi will play under him again. And I think that was the end of it. And then they did not get Randall Colomwani. How does it affect their season? Very interesting dynamics around it. But let's see what happens. But it looks like clubs are now becoming very strategic in terms of how they approach the winter transfer window. If they don't actually have an urgent need for reinforcement, they don't go all out like they would do in the summer to try and then add players to their squad. That is how come we did not see a lot of the big teams go out into the market and make transfers. We did not see a lot from Chelsea. Liverpool made a deal for Jeremy Jacquet, but he will join them in the summer. And I think that's some big money, some huge amount of money being paid to a player who has not even played 2 seasons at top flight level. But let's see what happens. It is Liverpool and what they want. Let's see what happens with that. And so I think it was a quiet window in terms of the big clubs, but it was a good opportunity for some of these middle table clubs and then these lowly placed clubs to do some 1 or 2 businesses to bolster their squad and improve their fortunes in the season. So I think that is it. It is just a winter transfer window, not much drama, unless someone actually triggers it. And we would have gotten that with Jean-Philippe Mateta.
Well, that is very true. I thought the Mateta deal was going through, but I mean, Italian law can be really, really tough sometimes in terms of player medicals. I can say the biggest name leaving Serie A, Ademola Lookman, going to Atletico Madrid. That was a good move. Michael, I'll take your thoughts and then I'll take a few ones from Raymond and Kelvin concerning that particular move. Ademola Lookman leaving Atalanta, going to Atletico Madrid in Spain.
I think that escaped me. Apologies. But again, a very good move. Atlanta are able to offload a player who didn't want to be there. don't forget the whole commotion that Lookman caused during the summer.
Yes.
Wanted to force a move out and all that. So he never wanted to be there in the first place. And I think for Atlanta, they get money for a player who didn't want to be there and who didn't want to renew his contract. And I think it's good business. It allows them to move on. It looks like they had even moved on from Ademola Lookman. And Rafael Palladino, he was starting to wean off the dependency on Lookman and was trying to build a certain attacking unit that relied heavily on the creating abilities of someone like Charles de Ketelare, then the scoring abilities of Gianluca Scamacca, and then the others will also complement. So I think they were moving on from him. Atletico get a player who has matured by years of struggles and challenges, and he's an overcomer. How Ademola Lookman has got here is a clear indication of someone who has sheer resilience. He never knows when to give up. He's played in England in the Premier League, he's played in the German Bundesliga, he's played in the Italian Serie A. So Atleti are getting themselves a player, brimming with experience as well, who knows what it takes to adjust and adapt to a certain environment. And it's a typical Diego Simeone player. He knows he's strong-willed. He doesn't shy away from communicating what he feels. Let's not forget what happened between himself and Gianpiero Gasperini. When he missed the penalty, Gasperini came out to say his own things against him. He also decided to reply him. So he's that strong-willed, strong mentality sort of a player. And I think Diego Simeone needs that kind of a player in his setup. But then again, he has competition in the positions that he plays at Atleti. There is Thiago Almada, who is even struggling to start. There is Alex Baena, who is excellent. Juliano Simeone, who is a son of the coach, also gives his best whenever he's trusted to come on and do a job. Julian Alvarez can still play in the attacking midfield role or as an auxiliary striker. And these are the roles that Ademola Lookman thrives in. So it is not going to be like it was at Atlanta, where he was guaranteed a starting berth, whether rain or shine. At Atleti, he needs to fight for his place, but he's a fighter, he's an overcomer, and I think he will enjoy it there. Again, the La Liga is more open. It is not that rigid and more technical as it is in the Serie A. So there will be a lot of open spaces for Lookman to have a lot of goal scoring opportunities. I pray that he stays injury-free, and I think the Atleti platform is enough for him to leverage on, play, delight his fans, and then improve his stakes. I think this is the best transfer he could have had at this stage of his career, and it's something that I will give a thumbs up. I don't know also what became of the Karim Benzema to Al Hilal bet decision or a move that led to Ronaldo striking and all that. So I think, on the outside mainstream Europe, maybe the Karim Benzema to Al Hilal bet is the best transfer that can happen, judging by the developments around it. But if it's Europe, I think the most high-profile transfer was Ademola Lookman to Atletico Madrid.
Interesting one. We'll see if we can talk about Karim Benzema there. But Kelvin, your own thoughts on Ademola Lookman? He gets his big money move, but he leaves Serie A. He goes to the Spanish La Liga to go and play for Atletico Madrid.
I think it's good for him. This is a player who thrives, especially on, pace, outlet, and then trying to play through the channel. And if you look at Diego Simeone and how he plays his game, it's definitely going to suit him. He was clearly unhappy, at Atalanta, and then he had to leave. And I think this is good for him. He continues to play for a top-level club, an upgrade in recent times over, that is Atalanta. And it gives him an opportunity to still play at a top level in European club football. And I think he becomes the first British born to play in, I think, four different leagues or something. Yes. And that is quite good. And it's not like he's a newbie going to try to show what he's capable of. He's already done that, scoring thrice in the Europa League final was just enough, winning Africa Footballer of the Year, with Nigeria final, and then, semi-final of the African Nations Cup. I think he's done enough. And I know that Simeone knows he has a player who has that character, for a player who's gone through that sort of, mayhem, chaos. From his time at Fulham, how he moved on to Italy to, get his name written in the top books, and then also coming to, Spain. let's just wait and see if he can continue there, which I have strong beliefs that he will be able to survive under Diego Simeone. So I'm happy for him that he's made the move. You know, when you are in an environment that you are not happy with, you struggle to blossom.
Yeah.
You struggle to excel. You struggle to give the very best of you. So once he's moved on from there, he's going into a new environment where he's going to brace the challenge. He's going to be happy. He's going, to work under a manager who is more demanding. Maybe at Atalanta, he felt, I had won with them. I helped them to win. He was even more relaxed. Now he has a challenge. Atleti are still fighting for a European trophy. How best do I contribute to them getting it? Even in the La Liga, they are dropping off. They are falling off. How do I get better and help them with it? So let's just wait and see what happens in the next couple of months for Ademola Lookman. And especially, let's not forget, he's not playing at the World Cup, so this is his chance to prove his worth. Nigeria won't be at the World Cup, so yes, just like Opoku, I did not win the Ashanti Region Inter-Schools soccer competition.
did you have to mention that one?
Yes, Michael, hello. Yeah.
Michael, pardon Kelvin. Okay. Michael, you're muted. Please pardon Kelvin.
Don't mind him.
I don't even know how even this entered the equation.
We are speaking about the present and you are talking about the past. Move on.
It is the immediate past.
It's immediate past. Okay. Now, since we are talking about Karim Benzema, Michael, you mentioned Karim Benzema. It looks like after the delay and everything, Karim Benzema got his move to Al Hilal. So Al Hilal announced the move on Monday. The move had initially been held up by the Saudi Ministry of Sports and the Public Investment Fund, and then issues were resolved. Michael, for the uninitiated, can you just explain what all of this means to somebody who doesn't quite understand why a move from one club to the other in Saudi Arabia is causing all kinds of consternation?
Okay, so they're behind promoting their league and pushing it to the top so that everyone will know about it and then follow it is the Saudi Investment Fund, which is known as the PIF, backing the big four. They have top 4 clubs in the country by pedigree, by history, by achievement. And these clubs are Al Hilal, Al Ali, there is Al Ittihad, and also Al Nassr. Now, the PIF is responsible for funding these clubs to make sure that there is enough investment into their team building processes. And this encompasses the playing body, the technical team, and to a larger extent, the directors they even bring on board, because they want to make sure that every department running these teams is actually brimming with competence. So what they did was that they lured not just football stars, but also top football coaches, both young and old, to come run these clubs. They brought some sporting directors on board, and then they brought some superstars, players on board to improve the level of these teams. Now, the concern from Cristiano Ronaldo, who is a key member of this whole initiative and is also a very important figure in the grand scheme of affairs as to what Saudi Arabia is doing. Ronaldo, in his move to Saudi Arabia, signed not just as a player, but as an ambassador as well. And he has other roles that extend beyond just the Saudi Pro League. So he has a say. He's very influential. And in his latest contract signed, it gave to him a certain level of power or authority to influence decisions regarding his club Al Nassr. And so if he sees that anything is being done that would actually jeopardize the chances of his team winning something substantial in Saudi Arabian football, he definitely has a right to speak against it. And what were the complaints? The complaints from Ronaldo, which we have been reading, is that it looks like there is a certain bias towards Al Hilal and maybe some of the other teams in terms of investment into their playing body as against that of Al-Nassr. And per what Ronaldo cited, he indicated that during this winter transfer window, Al-Nassr were denied an opportunity to heavily invest into their team with quality players. And then just before he decided he was not going to play in Al-Nassr's game against Al Riyadh, there were developments that Al Ittihad had fallen out with Karim Benzema. There were contract renegotiation talks. And again, the contract renegotiating talks would have to do with the PIF, because whatever amount that Al Ittihad agrees in terms of monies they would have to pay to Karim Benzema, the PIF would have to sanction it. So if Al Ittihad were not able to offer Karim Benzema more money, then how is it that Al Hilal can afford that and then bring him on board? So he sensed a certain bias and he felt it was not helping. And then the whole move is to strengthen Al Hilal at the expense of the other teams, of which Al-Nassr is part. And so Ronaldo fumed. And this led to the Saudi authorities having to critically assess the matter. So there were meetings yesterday, and they met to deliberate on the development. And initially, it felt like the move was not going to happen. In fact, yesterday around 4 p.m., 5 p.m., it looked like the move had fallen off. But then again, if Benzema was not going to join Al Hilal, it means then he would have left Saudi Pro League. So they have to come to a consensus that in as much as we accept that to some extent, whatever grievances that Ronaldo is sharing is valid, they still feel they will need to strengthen and improve the league. So allowing someone like Karim Benzema to leave would affect the image of the league and whatever thing they are doing. Because Benzema joined some 3 years ago, and he's not even played beyond 5 years, and he has to leave. It would have actually tainted the reputation of the project that the Saudis are embarking on. Yes, in essence, it's sports washing, but then again, they want to go heavily at this before they host the FIFA World Cup. So allowing Benzema to slip was going to be an issue. So they decided to allow the move to proceed. Now, what is Ronaldo's argument? The Al-Nassr team needs investment. As such, as part of a restructuring before Ronaldo decided to renew his contract, he was allowed to play a role in mentioning figures he think could be brought on board the Al-Nassr team to improve it. One was the coach, Jorge Jesus. A player in Joao Felix was convinced to join because of Ronaldo. 3, he brought 2 directors on board. Now, the directors look to have been frozen out in terms of decision-making at the top level. And Ronaldo sensed foul play in that. So these are his concerns. But the counter-argument is that Al-Nassr have players on board, and per their wage bill, they can't add extra players to their fold, because Ronaldo alone and the money that he takes home, it can actually bring 3-4 quality players to the Saudi Pro League to represent the Al-Nassr team. So their wage bill is at a certain level where they can't continue to add. So now they will only need to add players who don't really have a high profile, and then they will not command high wages. And that's how come they brought on board that 21-year-old Iraqi midfielder to augment their team. In the case of Al Hilal, aside their winnings, their prize money from participating at the Club World Cup means that if they invested a huge amount of money into their project, they still brought on board some amount of revenue, which is enough to keep them running. So on that basis, they are at a certain level where Al-Nassr isn't. Al-Ahly won the Asian Champions League. They got prize money as well. So it looks like all the other clubs, Al Ittihad won the league. They want something substantial, and then it increased their prize money, which gives them more room to augment or improve their team, irrespective of the wage bill. Al-Nassr didn't. And Ronaldo is taking almost all the money. So that became an issue. And again, for Al Hilal, they moved João Cancelo on loan to Barcelona. So it means they have a spot for a foreigner in their squad. And if Karim Benzema is available, they can do a deal for him. So basically, the counter-argument works. But Ronaldo's argument, to some extent, is plausible. But I don't think it necessarily applies to the Karim Benzema transfer, that then all of a sudden the transfer should collapse. No, the transfer would happen. But again, it would change how the PIF approaches these clubs and then deals with them. And I think going forward, Al-Nassr will get their due, and then situations will improve than Ronaldo complained about initially.
quite interesting. We wait to see. I mean, I found the whole entire story really interesting. Karim Benzema wanting to walk away from, you know, the club and all that. We'll wait to see what happens. We'll wait to see if or when Al Nassr will also get some support to bring in whoever it is they want to bring in. So yes, for those who are listening, Karim Benzema will now be playing for Al Hilal, also in the Saudi Pro League, the most successful team in the Saudi Pro League as things stand. They've won the Asian Champions League, I think 4 times. They've won the league the 2021 times. So yeah, it looks like they are adding to their numbers. Ronaldo, though, is yet to win anything major in Saudi Arabia. So that is the story there. All right, time check is 9:43. Let's open the phone lines. Let's take some calls. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. 030-279-4805. 030-279-4805. There's also the small matter of the League Cup semi-final second leg. Kelvin, is tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yes, tonight. Yeah, yes. Arsenal taking on Chelsea. Arsenal hold a 3-2 lead from the first leg. Can they complete the job? Kelvin, can Arsenal complete the job tonight?
No, I expect Arsenal to complete it. And, you know, there is always that streak in you know, when a team plays that they would have to, you know, be broken a bit. And I think Arsenal have had the fair share of it. In semi-finals, after winning the FA Cup, Mikel Arteta hadn't progressed past the semi-final. He hadn't even won a game in the semi-final, but, you know, he managed to travel to the Stamford Bridge to beat Chelsea 3-2. The advantage lies with Arsenal, and playing at the Emirates this evening, Arsenal should be able to get one past Chelsea. Liam Rosinia has won all his games, but that lost to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal is the only team that has been able to, you know, beat them. And this, you know, over the weekend, the scare in their game clearly gives Arsenal an opportunity to capitalize on it. Yes, good. Arsenal is trying to pick up on their mojo again. Victor Gyökeres seems to, you know, be happy trying to score. There is the return of Kai Havertz, who has come to also augment the efforts of the team. And then, you know, Saliba and Gabriel were at their very best against Calvert-Lewin. I haven't seen that in a very long while. Maybe after the injuries and then inconsistencies, they are getting to find their way through and then, you know, getting better. So Arsenal should be able to withstand this, you know, Chelsea team, especially playing at home at the Emirates, where it's been their fortress. You know, I expect Arsenal to. The only team that has beaten Arsenal there this season is Manchester United, a 3-2 victory in the Premier League a couple of weeks ago. So against Chelsea, yes, Rosinia might be having a firm, or do I say a stronger control of his team, but he's also spoken about his options, you know, that he doesn't have a permanent first team. When you are at top level, you merit the position, or you merit a slot in the team. Yes, he's going to offer it, which means that Chelsea will still play with, you know, inconsistencies, you know, players today, there's this player, the next day there's this player, but it doesn't erase the fact that he's actually doing something great at Chelsea. Maybe Arsenal are also trying to go more central, where I think Chelsea have, you know, deficiencies. Hopefully, we'll get to see what happens. But I think Arsenal stand a stronger chance of progressing, especially at the Emirates. They won't be chasing the game. Chelsea will be chasing the game, and that gives them an opportunity to strike as early as they can. If Chelsea manage to score the opener, then they will have to wait and see how things will pan out for them by trying to get the equalizer to, you know, get themselves the aggregate score in the advantage.
Michael, quick thoughts on this. Chelsea 3-2 down from the first leg. Can they turn it round? Can Liam Rosinia coach a comeback win out of this Chelsea side tonight in the EFL Cup semi-final?
I think it's going to be difficult. Difficult in the sense that, unlike Arsenal, Chelsea, yes, they have a squad, but not really the quality in depth. So if you are changing a lot of names in the team, it kind of affect the rhythm and how they play. And the evidence was what we saw in the first half of the game they played against West Ham over the weekend. I think there are some players in the Chelsea team who look like they are irreplaceable. Marco Cucurella, Rhys James, Enzo Fernandez, and also Moises Caicedo. And judging by the exertions of the past weeks, these are players who have actually, I think, run out of energy. Starting them in a game like this will also demand a lot from them. And don't forget, you also still need to compete and compete well in the race to make the Premier League top four and all that. So I think Liam Rosinia is in some kind of a conundrum, whether he starts his best players and risk it, because if players are at a certain threshold and then you exceed, you are actually exposing them to the risk of injury and all that. So it's a bit of a dicey situation for Chelsea. And I think just this alone, maybe plus other reasons, make Arsenal the favourite. Arsenal are playing at home for a long time. They've not actually lost to Chelsea under Mikel Arteta, which is a positive record that they have. And again, Arsenal would love to win something substantial before it gets to the business end of the season. And I think the first trophy they can win will be the Carabao Cup. If they win it, it gives them a lot of confidence to finish the season on a high, and they'll go all out. They rested some players before their game against Leeds, and I think it was very positive. Arsenal have a deep squad, and that should be enough to get them a result against Chelsea. Will Chelsea lose? I think probably not, but I don't think they will get a result that is enough to qualify them at Arsenal's expense. So Chelsea's best will be a draw. If any team is to win, I will go for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. I think they have more than Chelsea to go all out and secure a win and make a way to the final of the competition. So sorry to the Chelsea folks. They are my own guys, but I don't think we can make it to the final.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. Chelsea 3-2 down from that first leg. And we'll see. It looks like it's set up to be an interesting one. Arsenal, but talking about that, guys, quickly, Kelvin and Michael, do you expect changes to be made? Do you expect changes to be made in terms of the playing squad? Do you expect to see some of the other players getting starts, Eze, Havertz, and others? Kelvin, or you expect a strong...
Havertz started over the weekend. He started with Gyökeres. I expect Arteta to maintain the same, because it's going to be a bit physical, especially in that Chelsea defense. I expect Arteta to just make sure that he keeps, those two guys just to battle it out with, the Chelsea defenders. And the only players who are out, Bukayo Saka, it means that Noni Madueke is going to start. Mikel Merino foot injury is not even a starter, but maybe Arteta would have loved to introduce him in this game. But I think that Martin Odegaard gradually is also picking up the piece against Leeds. He made sure he found Gabriel Jesus and all that. Yeah, but it should fairly be the same squad and not any major difference. Maybe Chelsea, with the number of injuries, Rosinia will try to see if he can just alter the squad and see which players will best fit for them.
Michael?
I expect to see a couple of changes in the Arsenal team, but not that many. For instance, in the goalkeeping position, maybe Kepa Arrizabalaga should be in the goal post. A right back, maybe Ben White. Then Miles Lewis Kelly or Ricardo Calafiori as a left back. At the heart of defense, I doubt if Arteta will want to change a lot. He will stick with Saliba and Gabriel. In the middle, it is likely he will start his best midfield set, especially judging by the injury to Mikel Merino. If he was available, he's a player I think Arteta would have thrown into this game, judging by what he offers and also his versatility. But it will still be the same Zubimendi's, the Odegaards, and then Declan Rice to an extent. And for the attack, that's why I expect maybe a couple of changes. Kai Havertz just returned from injury. I doubt if Arteta wants to start him in back-to-back games, judging by the nature of the matches. And this is against Chelsea as well. So maybe a bench role for Kai Havertz, and then he will be a second half option. But Gabriel Jesus or Victor Gyökeres want to start. Then Noni Madueke definitely starts on the right. Eberechi Eze likely gets a place on the left as well. I think these are the likely changes I expect in the Arsenal team. For Chelsea, I don't know how Liam Rosinia goes into this game. To be fair, I think the absence of Estevao also does limit the options that Chelsea have. So Estevao being absent means that it's still going to fall on Pedro Neto as a right winger, or at worst, he pushes Cole Palmer to the right wing and plays Enzo Fernandez further up front. Then he pairs Moises Caicedo with Andre Santos in the middle. Left wing, it will go for the two poorly performing players, Jamie Bino Gittins and then Alejandro Garnacho, you can't actually tell what they can offer at a point in time. Today they blow hot, the next day they blow cold. So their unpredictability means that whoever gets to start will not certainly be a surprise. And then up front, judging by the form of João Pedro, I want to believe that the reason he did not start the West Ham game was because Rosinia wanted to start him in this match. So João Pedro will start at the expense of Liam Delap. And then there will likely be Rich James also starting. There will be Wesley Fofana, maybe Trevor Shaloba, and then Marco Cucurella will also start. Robert Sanchez will be in the goalpost. Don't forget, Philip Jorgensen is out injured. So these are the players I expect to start the game for Chelsea. So Chelsea will not have too many changes, but they'll be limited in terms of options. Arsenal will have a couple of changes, and they'll have a lot of options. And I think that will be the difference maker.
Okay, we'll see how it plays out. Arsenal taking on Chelsea, semi-final second leg of the Carabao Cup. Michael, thank you so much. It was fun having you around. We'll speak again tomorrow as we go over the semi-final and preview Man City v Newcastle. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and we'll catch up later.
Thank you very much, and greetings to all of you guys.
All right, wonderful stuff. 9:53. Let's open the phone line. Let me see if I can take a few calls. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. There's a Carabao Cup semi-final second leg. I want you to give me a prediction. Arsenal taking on Chelsea at the Emirates. Arsenal lead 3-2 from the first leg. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, Nathan. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Otumfo, how are you?
Nathan, I'm doing great. Yourself?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Nathan, today I'm calling you from Cantonment.
What are you doing there?
Oh, Nathan, business. When money calls, everything waits.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yes, Otumfo, let's hear from you, please. Yes.
Nathan, quick one. Chelsea is going out now 2-0 today. Oh,
really?
Nathan, we will put better in their eyes. You know, when it matters most, you know, we can be having, you know, our words run all the time. But when it matters most, that's when we always come to the, we always come to the part. And Arsenal think this is going to be a walk in the park. And Nathan, believe you me, we shall score them. We shall put pressure in their eyes. I sang this song to you, Nathan, when Kotoko was about to play.
I remember.
You doubted, and I got vindicated by the fact that we lack our out of work in their own backyard. And Nathan, this time around, Chelsea is so going to lack us in their own backyard. And when I call you later, Nathan, I know you feel my tone, and I a beautiful flower to it.
All right, Otumfo, thank you so much.
Let me leave that. I told my colleagues to also call. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. 9:55. Let me take a few more calls. We'll try and wrap it up at 10. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. There's a League Cup semi-final or Carabao Cup semi-final between Arsenal and Chelsea tonight at the Emirates. Arsenal lead 3-2 from the first leg. Can they do the job, or will Chelsea come back? 054-257-1061. You can also talk about school violence. If you want to sports, violence at the various SHS sporting activities, let me know. Let me take this caller. Hello? Okay. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. We have a caller. Hello?
Saturday.
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Edmond from Rich.
This is?
Edmond.
Okay, Edmond. Please go ahead, Edmond.
Charlie, today, Arsenal was question.
Okay.
See, Arsenal will take all the trophies this season.
Really?
I'm just hoping that Manchester will perform some magic and then come and do something that Arsenal will take it.
Okay.
Maybe there's no Man United, then it is Arsenal this season. And also about the school,
Yes.
Charity begins at home.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the teachers are not allowed to discipline their students,
mm-hmm.
because the parents will complain, and GES has caged the teachers and then the school heads. You don't have to blame them. I get it.
Yeah.
Somehow we should get the parents involved. Okay, I remember Sunset, if you jump any of the walls and you're caught, you buy 10 bucks of cement so that will increase the height of the wall. Yes.
So if they go and the students go and destroy anything, the students need to be identified. They have to identify the students. Then now, you know what? NSA would charge the school. The school would also then call the parents and tell them, okay, Ubana could say anyway, so you have to pay for this amount of money.
Yeah.
Then now the parents will call their children and then send them. Probably also discipline them. GS has to open the floor for the teachers to discipline the students. Because now students don't respect the headmasters and then teachers. I was at Akuse last time, and a student slapped a teacher.
A student slapped a teacher?
Slapped a teacher.
Hey.
I'm not telling you that story. I'm telling you something like slapped the teacher. And if you look at the teacher, okay, some of them are young.
Yes.
So some students see them like you, telling you, you hate me. What I said.
Yes.
That kind of thing. So now the school system is just like ours way back where me I'll be in class and then somebody like 5 years older than me will be in the same class with me. And that person will call class papa. You cannot misuse because you are like a grown up in the class.
Yeah.
And then the teacher is a grown man.
Yeah.
Who give me so bad though? But if you have a class school will be based on condos if you understand. So it is not the teachers per se. They have a role to play.
Yes.
But you have to play a role. Then the parents also have to play a role.
Yeah.
Also, if you discipline a child, the child will not get messed up. And also now you see, when they come to my team, then let me go. Tyreek is performing. We win our next match. And then win the fifth match. And then the guy will probably be fair for us.
I see. All right.
I'm serious.
Okay.
All right, have a nice day.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. I'll take one more call and then we end it. 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. Let me take my final caller for the morning. Hello.
Yo, final caller.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, even on the line.
Yes, Emmanuel, how are you doing?
Oh, Charlie. My throat, Charlie.
Oh, what is wrong with your throat?
I don't know.
Okay. Please.
Oh, I explain what is it?
That's what happens when you go shouting. Your throat will hit.
Charlie, let's go make a shout out there. My throat.
All right, Emmanuel, please go ahead for us.
Nathan.
Yeah.
See, now there's no discipline in our schools. See, a student can stand in front of a teacher and say whatever I like because there's no discipline in our school. See, they don't respect the teachers in their school. So how much more if they go out from their schools? Do you think the teachers can say something that they will even listen even when they are this doing these sports? See, the security is very much needed. The need security in these stadiums. See, at this age, these children know that they have to. These children can destroy a state property, and they are not even bothered. It's very, very dangerous at this stage. And the things that they take, Nathan, the things that they take. So the security is much needed. See, the teachers can't do anything, because the teachers, their hands are tight. They don't even respect them at the school campus. Is it outside that they're going to respect them? Yeah? Is it outside that they're going to respect them? So the NSA and the GS, they have to sit down and come to an agreement that they miss because the money that they're taking is too much. Well, they can't tell me they can't afford security.
No, but Emmanuel, do you think it should be the NSA's job to provide security? Schools come in or the GS.
But if you want to rent your property, later you have your house.
Yes.
And you want people to come and do something.
Yes.
Won't you sit down with them and give them this protocol like you do this?
Of course, that is true. Of course.
Yes. So you have to put all these measures in place. You can't just give up your property, try to come and vandalize it, and later you use your own money to go and fix it. It doesn't make sense. Are they renting this stadium for these students, for these schools? Or is it for free later?
I'm sure it's paid for. I'm sure that the schools or the GES will pay for the use of the stadium.
How much do they really pay? How much do they really pay? That you come and destroy things in the stadium.
Yeah.
You have to be serious in this country. These children are very wicked. You think you have mercy on this old stadium? That it can be their great grandfather. And they're destroying it. See, I said the things that they take before they go to this sometimes Charlie, this you are just Charlie, you said that you go look for your girl being one side. And all these things violence, not people fighting anyhow. It doesn't make sense. The drugs that the things that these boys take before they go into this thing actually is serious.
Yeah.
And they miss creatives. They need to be lashing them. They need to be punished, lashing them. See, if you leave these young boys, young girls, give them this privilege to go and do anything. They like, see, they will go overboard. And you know these children of this, they will do anything. So we are not surprised.
Okay.
So next time, just to put the measures in place very well. They need to get tight security. If it's a buffalo that will go and bring them. The body, the ones that they cover their face with masks and things. That will put fears, to put fears in them. That will not go and foolishly destroy the state property. Thank you very much this morning.
All right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Anyway, that's our final caller. It's 3:10. Let's wrap it up here on the Sporty Breakfast. Let me thank my colleagues Michael Asaibuedu, Calvin Owusu, and my wingman Raymond Yamado. Many shouts to my production team, Abigail Sena Sosu, Immortal Kwame Jakwe Champo, Naneki Amankwa, and Angela Mensah. Shout outs to Fly. Shout outs to Emmanuel Ayamga. Shout outs to the entire team. My name is Nathan Kwa. This has been the Sporty Breakfast. We'll catch you later. Keep your dials locked on Sporty FM 106.1. We are the voice of sport. There's the news at midday. There's Sporty Plug at 12:30. Sporty Drive at 4. And then European Nights from 7. Thank you for making us a part of your morning. Keep your dials locked on Sporty 106.1. We are the voice of sport. Enjoy your day. Keep your dials locked here.